Hi, everyone. How are you doing? I'm here today to give you a little bit of an update. I haven't spoken to you in a while. I have been busy holding 5-day workshops every month. So I had one in December since I'm back. I've had one this month. This month was really confusing because I couldn't start on a Monday, and normally it's Monday through Friday. Next month in February, the workshop will be from the 12th to the 17th, 5 days in the lunch break. I try and make it in the lunch break between 12:45 and 1:45 so that people who are already out and about can sort of squeeze it into their day during the week while kids are at school or, in between the morning workload and the afternoon workload. Really trying my best to bring this material to as many people as I can, because I feel that this can really, really help you, help everybody. Actually, everybody needs this knowledge to be able to take charge of their lives, to be able to take charge of their happiness, to be able to, um, you know, face challenges. Because yes, just because you're a mindset coach or just because you are going to start creating your life doesn't mean that you are not going to face the world. It doesn't mean that the world isn't going to ask you every now and then, who are you going to be today? This is happening. Who are you going to be today? So, this material is so amazing. And I've started reading again, and I'm really enjoying reading. I used to be a huge, massive bookworm. And then I stopped for a long time because I didn't feel passionate about the books. And now I've discovered this whole New Thought movement that happened in America from 1850 to 1950. And then that has been now taken forward into self-development and personal growth and coaching. And this brings together spirituality with self-development. And for me, those two things together actually make life meaningful again. I'm not waiting for something outside of me to happen so that the new world that we dreamt about will manifest. I know now how I can manifest the life and the freedom, the abundance that I want to live, the expression I want to have, the impact I want to make in people's lives. And I've started on this journey, and I am getting amazing feedback from people who have been just for the 5 days, not even the 3-month course, just in 5 days. They've come back to me how many months later, 7 months after my first workshops, and told me how they made that shift. They changed their life and they are radiating joy. They're the same person, they're in the same place, they're affected by things, that you have to be affected by when you live here. But they've taken charge and they're growing and stretching and, going into their potential and bringing out stuff that was just lying dormant. One of the books that I am now really, really enjoying to read is by Neil Donald Walsh, and it's called Happier Than God. And in this book, he explains and takes you by the hand and gently leads you through the process of manifesting, of how you as a human being have all the tools you need and the ability to manifest and to create and to, and the mechanisms of manifestations. He says we must have that mechanism thoroughly explained to us, as well as the principle of life which supports it. The process of personal creation is actually three phenomena interacting as one. The first phenomena has to do with God. The second has to do with you. And the third has to do with you and God together. Another way of describing this, he says, would be that part one is the mystery formula of life. In the mystery formula of life is the I am. Part two is the you are. And part three is the how to. what he sort of takes you through in this book is that, in fact, the process, the mechanism of manifestation never stops. It never pauses. You are constantly creating, whether you like it or not, whether you want it or not, whether you know it or not, whether you see it or not. And the understanding of this is gently put across to you so that bit for bit you understand that actually everything is God, and God is creating through you and with you. You are of God, and your individualized spiritual being, spiritual energy, spirit that is individualized in you is expressing itself through you, through what you're creating, through your thoughts, and it's manifesting and manifesting and manifesting in the reality around you. To this entity, to this, what we call God, to spirit, there is no good or bad. For us, in our limited perception, there is contrast and then there is pleasure. And I just learned today from this book, and I'm just at the beginning of it, that one of the reasons why people don't manifest what they want, but often find themselves facing the exact opposite of what they're saying that they want, is because of the law of duality, the law of polarity. So there is a universal law that says if there is a right, there has to be a left. If there is an inside, there is an outside. If there is light, then there is darkness. But to experience the light, you have to experience the darkness. To experience abundance, you have on the other side simultaneously the lack of abundance, lackfulness. And often when we start thinking and visualizing and wanting to create abundance, we face the opposite. And instead of saying, okay, I understand that this is the law of polarity and that I can just accept this and be as grateful for what I have today as for what is coming to me through my demand, through my want. So instead of doing that, we react to the lack of it and we immediately pass judgment on the situation and we immediately say, oh, this doesn't work. And universal laws work. Just because you're not doing something right doesn't mean that the law doesn't work. The apple is always going to fall from the tree. Just because, you trip and fall from your bicycle or something else happens doesn't mean that that law suddenly stops working. What I'm trying to get to is to another point that I learned here, which is do not oppose, compose. Do not judge. So you can move from judgment to gratitude. Judgment is the opposite of gratitude. So when you feel like you are judging something, when you feel that the opposite of what you want is happening, then try to move into gratitude. Because when you can be grateful for the chance that this is showing you, that this is creating for you to grow, and you can be grateful for that, you allow for the opposite to then come into your life. I don't know if this is clear or not. It's kind of complicated stuff. For me, who have been studying this for a year and a half now, really intensely, it all makes sense immediately. I'm sorry if I'm overwhelming you with this. Anyway, I will speak to you again next week. Have a great rest of the week. Be happy, be grateful for things that are coming to you. Be grateful for manifestations that show you that the opposite is close, even if it's on the other side of the spectrum.